Hello students, in this module we'll be studying about the angiosperms that are also known as flowering plants. Now students, in the angiosperms, pollen grain and ovules, they are developed in specialized structures. They are called flower. Now you all have studied this in your 10th standard. In angiosperms, there are the seeds which are enclosed by fruits. And here what happens, that ovary develops into fruit and ovule develops into seed. The angiosperms are present in wide range of habitat. Now talking about the smallest angiosperm, it is Wolffium. And the tallest angiosperm is Eucalyptus. So you can see here. Now students, they provide us with food, fodder, fuel, medicines and several other commercially important products. And these angiosperms are further divided into two classes, the dicotyledons and the monocotyledons. Now students, talking about the dicotyledons, they are characterized by having two cotyledons in their seeds, while the monocotyledons have only one. Now some plants having only one gamete, either of male or female, and they are called monoecious, and other have both, it is called dioecious. So it is just like unisexual and bisexual flower. Now the male sex organ in a flower is the stamen. You all are aware about the stamen, student. It is the male sex organ, and this stamen consists of a slender filament with an anther at the tip. And what happens, students, that these are the anthers in which the meiosis division takes place, which is a reductional division, and it gives rises to the pollen grains. Fine. So it further produces pollen grains. This was all about the male sex organ. Now talking about the female sex organs in a flower, that is the pistil or the carpel. Now what are the different parts of the pistil, students? It contains ovary, fine, which has many ovules within it. It has stigma and style. So within ovule, it is a highly reduced female gametophyte that is also known as embryo sac. Fine. So it consists of an ovary, fine, within which there are a lot of ovules. And within ovule, students, there is a highly reduced female gametophyte that is known as embryo sac. Now the embryo sac formation is preceded by meiosis. Hence, each of the cell of an embryo sac is haploid. Fine. Now, each embryo sac has a 3-celled egg apparatus. 1 egg cell, 2 synergids and 3 antipodals. I would like to show it. See, I would like to show this to you, students. Look here. You can see here, these are the three. This is the complete structure of a carpel. Fine. See here, this one is the pollen grain which has landed on the stigma portion. So this uppermost portion is stigma, which is quite sticky. Then this is the style, the long elongated one, and this is the ovary. So within ovary there is ovule, and within ovule there is, you can see this is an embryo sac. Fine. I hope I am clear, students. Now these three you can see on this end, they are known as antipodals. And talking about the egg apparatus, which I have just told you. So this egg apparatus consists of 1 egg cell and 2 synergids. And in the middle we have 2 polar nuclei. So how this is formed? Basically, this is formed by one functional megaspore mother cell. It keeps on dividing and it forms a 8 nucleus, which further go to micropyle and chalagial end of the ovule, which we will be studying in class 12th, how they are actually being formed. Now students, each embryo sac I have told you that it has a 3-celled egg apparatus, 1 egg cell, 2 synergids and 3 antipodals with 2 polar nuclei. Now the 2 polar nuclei fuse to produce a diploid secondary nucleus. Fine. Look here. These are the 2 polar nuclei, students. They are fused together, fine, and they form an endosperm. How? See, this pollen tube, this is pollen grain, students, fine. It gives rise to pollen tube which consists of 2 male gametes. So you can see here, The purple color one in the second picture, students, these are the two male gametes. One of them, it fuses up with this egg apparatus. Fine, this egg apparatus or the egg cell, and this is known as syngamy. And the second male gamete that you can see here in this pollen tube, it reaches in the ovule and it gets fused up with these two polar nuclei, and you can see here in the third picture, this has results into the formation of an endosperm. Fine, two polar nuclei and one male gamete, that is why it is known as triploid. Fine. So what is its function, students? It will give nourishment to the developing embryo. Fine. So this is what the complete double fertilization is. Although you have studied this thing in your class 10th, so it's not that difficult for you. Now students, pollen grain after dispersal from the anther. So anther में क्या चीज़ हुआ? Pollen grain form हुए, और वो pollen grains with the help of the agencies like wind, water or the other agencies, they landed onto the stigma, and this process is known as pollination. Now the pollen grain, they germinate on the stigma, students. Fine, I have already explained you this thing, that it gives rise to a pollen tube. Fine, and then it reaches to the ovule. Fine, and then this pollen tube enters into the embryo sac where the two male gametes are discharged. So you can see here, it contains two male gametes, students. Finally, these are the two purple like structure, you can see these are the male gametes. They reaches to the ovule. Fine, and they get fused up with these egg apparatus and two polar nuclei, and ultimately this thing is formed. This is termed as double fertilization. So where one of the male gametes fuses up with the egg cell, it forms the syngamy, and the other male gamete fused up with the diploid secondary nucleus to produce the triploid primary endosperm nucleus, which is also known as PEN. Now this is what is the double fertilization is. Now the zygote has been formed, students. Once the fusion of male and female gamete would be there, the zygote will be forming. Fine. So this zygote develops into an embryo with one or two cotyledons, and the PEN develops into endosperm that I've already explained you, which provides nourishment to the developing embryo. So the endosperm that has been formed here, the primary endosperm nucleus, by the fusion of one male gamete with two polar nuclei, this will be providing the nourishment to the developing embryo. Fine. And the synergids and antipodals that are present on both the ends, that is the chalagial and micropillar end of the ovule, they get degenerate, student, after fertilization, and during these events the ovules develops into seed. So there were ovules, fine, within that embryo sac, within that ovary, sorry. So that ovule develops into the seed and the ovary develops into the fruit. So you can see here, student, this is a sporophyte. Fine. So this one is the male sex organ, this one is the female sex organ. So it give rise to the complete female gametophyte. You can see here there is a one functional megaspore mother cell, students, and this functional megaspore mother cell divides continuously to form the 8 nucleate sac. Fine. So they reaches to different poles, and to center we have the 2 polar nuclei, 2. Then niche we have 3, so 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. 3 antipodals, 3 here and 2 polar nuclei. And this you can see here, these are the microsporangium, students. Within microsporangium, you can see this one is anther. Within anther there is a microspore mother cell or the microsporangium. They further undergo the meiosis division and give rise to these microspores. Fine. And ultimately they give rise to a pollen grain, where what happens, this pollen grain, the male gamete inside it fused up with the female gamete and give rise to the zygote. Fine. Which further divides and give rise to the embryo and then again sporophyte. So this complete generation is sporophytic, students, and this one is the gametophytic generation. Fine. Gametophytic generation is haploid, always remember, and the sporophytic generation is diploid. Fine. I hope this thing is clear, students. Now moving on to the next that we have is the plant life cycles and alternation of generation. Now students, in plants, both haploid and diploid cell can divide by mitosis, fine, which is an equational division which give rise to two daughter cell. Now this ability leads to the formation of different plant bodies, that is haploid and diploid, and alternation of generation. Now this plant body represents a gametophyte. Following fertilization, the zygote also divide by mitosis to produce a diploid sporophytic plant body. And haploid spores are produced by this plant body with the help of the meiosis process. These in turn divide by mitosis to form a haploid plant body once again. So this process keeps on repeating. Now students, this one is the last topic of this chapter, that is the different types of life cycle in plant. So life cycle can be of three types students. It can be haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle and haplodiplantic or intermediate life cycle. So talking about the first one, that is in this, sporophytic generation is represented only by the one-celled zygote, fine, and there are no free living sporophytes in this. Meiosis in the zygote, so there is a zygote that has been formed students in which the meiosis division takes place, and this results into the formation of haploid spores. And the haploid spores, they divide mitotically, fine, and form the gametophyte. And the dominant photosynthetic phase in such plant is the free living gametophyte. Example, we have volvox, Spirogyra and some species of Chlamydomonas. The second one we have is the diplontic life cycle. So the students, in the first case, the photosynthetic phase, the photosynthetic phase in such plant is the free living gametophyte, fine. And here in the second case, the diploid sporophyte is the dominant, fine. In the upper one, students, in the above one, the free living gametophyte was the dominant phase, but talking about the diplontic life cycle, here the dominant phase is the diploid sporophyte, fine. And the gametophyte phase is represented by the single to few celled haploid gametophyte. For example, all seed bearing plants, example gymnosperms and angiosperms, and some algae like fucus, fine. So it's very simple students. If the dominant phase will be free living gametophyte, then it is said to be haplontic. If it is the dominant phase will be the diploid sporophyte, then it will be diplontic. If it will be intermediate, fine, in this both gametophyte and sporophytic phase are multicellular and often free living. So the example is like we have done in bryophytes, fine, pteridophytes we have done, where in bryophyte the dominant phase is the gametophyte and in pteridophyte the dominant phase is sporophyte. So, and plus it happens in some algae like Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia, fine. So this was all about today's module students. Thank you.